Hi everyone, and welcome to Choose Your Courses at Home, brought to you by the Figaro Étudiant and Campus channel. I'm here with Centrale Supélec, and we're going to be talking about the Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence. Here with us today, we have Vincent Mousseau, the co-head of this program, and Thomas Lamson, a student currently in this program. They're here to answer my questions so that you can stay safe at home while getting all the information you need. Vincent, how are you?
Well, I'm just fine. Very happy to be with you.
Good. I'm happy to be with you as well. Thomas, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Happy to be with you and answer all your questions.
Okay, I hope you're ready. Vincent, first, could you just tell us a little bit about this program? What can you tell us about the program?
Well, actually, the Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence at Centrale Supélec is a one-year program, a little more, 16 months with the training program, which aims at providing the foundations and advanced techniques and methodologies of artificial intelligence. It covers both, let's say, data-driven technologies and methods, which are nowadays very much at the front of the technology, and machine learning and all these stuff, but also symbolic AI, knowledge representation, reasoning, and these stuff. We aim at providing both, let's say, theoretical foundations of AI by going towards, let's say, implementation, and so rather practical issues also. That's mainly what I'm going to say.
Okay, thank you. Just for starting, obviously, we'll know more in the minutes coming. And I think let's start with the beginning, and it's time to cover the admission process. Vincent, can you walk me through the admission process?
Well, actually, the admission process, we have 5 rounds of admission. The first one is late in November or beginning of December, and the last one will be in June for those who want to apply for the next year program. But for the years after, obviously, we have a 5-year program. We evaluate the candidates and the applications mainly based on the application file. So they should be clearly stated with all what is needed and required in the file. And we are 3 evaluators. The 3 co-heads of the master program are evaluating the files. And to be admitted, the candidate should be obtaining a positive answer from all 3. That's mainly what I can say shortly.
Okay, thank you. Thomas, maybe you could tell us how your admission process went. So what did you send? Did you receive any marks? And can you tell us about your profile as a student?
Yes, so what's interesting with this process is that we had a promotion of very diverse students, and I had personally to send a record of all my grades before, so my engineering school and things like that, and also to pass the TAJMAJ and the TOEFL. I don't know, maybe we'll have a question on that because of the special conditions nowadays, but yes, I had to pass this kind of tests, and it happened quite well. I received the answer very fast, and I was taken in this master, and I was really happy to be.
Okay, thank you for your answer. You mentioned the current situation. So I'm going to ask you, Vincent, how have you updated your entry requirements in light of the current situation?
Yeah, clearly we are all involved in a, let's say, in a situation with the COVID, and typically we are in an international program, so it's really important. In fact, we did not have to change that much the admission procedure, because it works remotely. Let's say candidates do send their admission file through a website, and we provide them with answer, let's say via email, interacting via email. For those for which we need to have an interview, which are a little proportion of the candidates, then we can have still a video interview. And the point that Thomas mentioned, which is important, is that we require some TOEFL or TOEIC for the English level, because the whole program is in English. So we need to be sure that the students that we admit have no problem following the courses. We know that currently it's difficult to have a test, let's say, actually. So for those who had it earlier, it's okay. If it's really impossible to have these tests, then we can have a video interview that acknowledges the level of English.
Thank you very much for your answers. And I have like one last question regarding the admission process. What skills or qualities do you look for in your students?
Well, actually, we aim at recruiting some students with high scientific potential. Clearly, so we are looking at the general result of their bachelor with high grades and a good GPA. We are also looking for, let's say, students that are able to put clearly inside their motivation. Okay, so motivation towards the field of AI in general, and if they have some previous achievement in, let's say, in extracurriculum activity, or even if they're in their curriculum, they should mention it.
Is there any requirement for your students before they apply to this master?
Well, obviously, aside from an excellent, let's say, bachelor level, one thing which is clearly required is, let's say, programming abilities. They should be, let's say, fluent with at least one programming language. If not, they should, let's say, improve before they come to the master, because most of the courses require programming, some let's say, some methodology, techniques, algorithms. So the difficulty shouldn't be on the programming side, but on the algorithmic and methodologic side.
And if you don't have that background, can you still learn during the master, or is it going to be too complicated?
Well, if you don't have, let's say, a computer science background, it's possible to have to follow the master. That's not really a difficulty. Nevertheless, let's say, programming abilities are, let's say, important to improve before coming to the master. So they still have some time, let's say, to have some Python courses, online courses, and to catch up.
Thank you very much for that answer. Thomas, how would you describe your skills or your qualities before you enter the master?
So personally, I had an engineering degree in mechanics, where I did a lot of mathematics and things like that. But most of my computer science skills were developed on extracurriculum activities and professional activities too. So that's one thing that is nice with this admission process, is that they take into consideration all of it, not only your graduations before, and that's interesting.
Okay, did it help you during the courses?
Oh yeah, definitely. I had cover all these kind of skills before to be able to benefit from all the courses at their maximum.
Good. I think now it's thank you for all your answers regarding the admission process. I think now it's time to take a deeper look at the program itself. How do you teach something as complex as artificial intelligence?
Well, indeed, it's a tough program. Let's say that the program, in terms of courses, is organized in, let's say, two level of courses, not two level, but two steps, two type of courses. We have, in the first part of the year, we have 6 foundational courses, 6 core courses that provides the students with, let's say, the basics of artificial intelligence, to give them, let's say, a solid ground to work out the 6 other courses, which are elective courses, which are either methodologically and theoretically oriented or application oriented. They should follow 3 of each. They have to choose among something like 12 courses, these elective courses. Obviously, let's say the rhythm of these courses is pretty high. This is why we admit some strong potential students. I would say, in terms of optimization, I would say that the gradient is high in the courses, and this is how we proceed.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Can you tell us about the elective that you've chosen, and which one is your favorite?
Yes, so I've chosen 7 elective courses because you can choose more if you want. I had like computer vision, multi-agent system, deep learning, and like we see some deep learning before in the first term, but we can progress more in this field if we want. I also had graph theory, and I have to put all of them together. But yeah, I had the opportunity to choose a lot of things that were really interesting to me. And this second term was the opportunity to have a lot of projects very specialized in those fields and to discover in depth more things about AI, because this is a very, very wide field of study.
Yeah, like your teacher said, there's a massive realm. And how is this program assessed? Maybe I could ask Thomas first, and then Vincent could like maybe complete the answer. So how are you being assessed, Thomas?
So most of the time you're assessed through projects you have to follow during all the course. Sometimes you have little exams or presentations to do, but yeah, the main way of assessment is the projects, and this is actually a way to express yourself and to discover things even deeper than in course, because you have to investigate the scientific research and things like that to be able to produce something nice.
Does it take a lot of hours?
It does take a lot of hours. You have to be really focused on what you do. Yeah.
Okay, can you like describe us one specific assessment that you had?
Yeah, the biggest one actually was in natural language processing, which was one of my elective courses. So we had the opportunity to do a project as a scientific research and try to publish a paper, which we are currently still doing. So actually, one very good point here is that the teacher we have, Mathias Gallet, was helping us actively, sending us research papers to help us on this project. So it was about doing a text generation tool for authors, automatic text generation. And yeah, this took us a very big load of hours, and that was really interesting to do.
And how many hours will a student be required to be in the classroom, and how many hours should they dedicate to extra reading? What's the balance between the two of those? Because you mentioned your teacher sending you documents, and then you mentioned like hours in class. And what's the balance? Sorry, between the two of those?
So basically, the courses are between 24 and 30 hours each. Maybe Vincent can confirm that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but the projects, they can be hundreds of hours. Sometimes this particular one was really long. It took us much after the end of the class, but the projects in a mean way, they're like 60 hours maybe, but you do them in teams, so you can have 60 hours each and produce something really big.
Okay, I have a question for Vincent now. Do your teachers have industry experience?
Well, actually, we do have teachers that come from the industry, who have people from Amazon and different companies, from Thales in a French company. So as far as the, let's say, academic teacher, let's say, is concerned, we do have industrial experience and service experience in the way that we collaborate with industry. Typically, the academics that teach in this program are expert in their domain, are also a researcher, and conduct partnership research with industry. So we do have this experience, and it's very important for us to provide the students, let's say, a clear vision of what is needed on the market when they come out.
Could you give us, like, could you name one of your teachers? Give us a specific example of a teacher and in which company he's working and how we can combine his work with.
For instance, we do have Christophe Labroche from Thales teaching the game theory course, which is a rather fundamental course, but he can provide the students with application at Thales who let's say work on on military system, but also civil systems to build let's say intelligent system involving game theory applications.
Your teachers had a strong link with the industry, and how is the school linked to those industries?
Well, actually, one of the peculiarity of Centrale Supélec is its strong relationship with industry and services. As I mentioned, we have more than 140 enterprises which are in partnership with Centrale Supélec. We even have during the year one full week devoted to the let's say industrial partners that come to discuss and interact and make project with the students.
That's very precise. Thank you very much for those precisions. I'm going to ask you another question, Vincent. Is there a research track that could be followed after this master? Because it sounds like a very specific master, and maybe people want to dig deeper.
Yeah, clearly. Actually, we do have probably almost half of the students that enter the master that follow up with a PhD. In fact, in itself, the program can be seen as a research track. That is, the courses are really advanced, and that makes it possible for students to follow up with PhDs. And this is very, let's say, very demanded from the market, because plenty of, let's say, academics, but mostly industries are willing to, let's say, recruit some highly trained AI specialists, and one way to do so is to follow up with a PhD.
Thank you very much. Now that we all want to integrate that master, I think it's time to take a look at the opportunities available to graduates once you've graduated from the school. What sort of jobs do your graduates go on to do? And there is that saying that when you study artificial intelligence, will you ever be more than just an IT guy?
Well, in fact, AI people are IT guys. They master these domains, but clearly in terms of opportunity, the market is now broadening very much due to the digital change of the process in the industry and services. And plenty of these processes are now, we are able to introduce intelligence, let's say intelligent agent in these processes, such as predictive maintenance in the domain of energy, of supply chain, of transport. There are plenty of these industries that require some artificial intelligence experts. So the type of jobs which let's say the students which are professionals when coming out of the master can apply to is very broad, in fact.
Okay, and do you have any idea of the salary a student could get at the end of your masters? Well,
currently there is a very strong boom of the AI labor market, and the companies are looking for highly trained people, and the market is very tense for that. It's clearly in favor of the students, so they can get a clearly high salary, and that will raise very, very quickly.
Okay, and how do you help students find a job?
Well, actually, there is a first step, which is finding their internship at the end of the program. For that, we have the possibility to help them using the internships that are proposed at Centrale Supélec. We have more than 140 partnership with firms such as IBM, Amazon, and so on, Airbus, EDF, which is the main electricity provider in France. So they have internship possibilities, and obviously they are coming to look for, let's say, internship within a logic of finding new colleagues to hire these people, because they are, let's say, looking for that.
And so I want to ask you a question, Thomas, or yeah, Thomas, maybe you will tell me, what do you want to do after this master?
After this master, first, actually, I'm going to do an internship with one of the teachers of the master, Jean-Philippe Poli, and I'm going to start some research at the CEA. So this is the Atomic Energy Commission in France. It's a research institute, and maybe try a PhD just after that, following that internship. So this is the first step, but then the objective is to be an engineer in artificial intelligence and to aim for the innovation in this field. So that's my personal track on those things. Yes.
Thank you very much for your answer. And I have like the same went for the admission process, but are these opportunities still possible given the pandemic? Meaning everything you're telling me now is still available, even though there is a pandemic outside, is what I meant.
Yes, I understand what you say. Currently, the higher education system in France is, let's say, fully remote. Okay, we hope, obviously, to have next year, let's say, starting September, we have the students back at the university. Nevertheless, we have a strong IT, let's say, services that makes it possible to have remote courses very, very easily. We are currently given remote courses, so it's not much of a difficulty. It's just that it's clearly better to have students in front of you, but we have no much difficulty in providing the courses to the students, even if we have to have some remote period in the next year.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I believe I'm going to have some questions for you, Thomas, because now it's time. We're now going to take a closer look at the student experience. What are the benefits to students of the school being located in Paris?
So the main benefit of being in Paris is that you have a lot of cultural interest, like at your doorstep. So it's not exactly at your doorstep because you have to take the transports, but then you have all of things opened to you. And actually on the campus itself, you have a lot of associations and events organized by students, which most of them are free to access and they are very nice. So I'm thinking about like a former president of France, François Hollande, went to do a conference for free in Centrale Supélec, and it was really, really nice to be able to access this. We have orchestra, things like that, and all the parties too. But yeah, that's the main advantage of being in Centrale Supélec and near Paris at the same time.
And I have another question is, does the school, I mean, we're talking about international students, does the school help you to find accommodations?
Accommodations, you mean like for the living place?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, the school has living places for students all around it, and so you can very easily find a place to live. Either you live on the campus, which is the most practical, in my opinion, or we had a lot of students living in Paris or near Paris and coming in there through the transports. And yeah, you have all you need on the campus or near the campus.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anything you would want to add to the student experience, the student life, Vincent?
Well, indeed, Thomas has explained some points, but I would like to add that it's very important for us at Centrale Supélec to have programs, so this program in particular, in which the students obviously train scientifically and become highly qualified professionals, but we also want them to, let's say, evolve positively on a personal side and have some extra curriculum activities.
I think it's time to wrap up any loose ends. We only have a couple of minutes left, so I'm going to give you 1 minute, Thomas. How would you convince the students, or why would a student should choose Centrale Supélec and this Master of Science?
So the main reason for me to join in were all the freedom on the projects that I had on this year. So the ability to produce very nice things that can gain visibility outside the master, like I'm posting some projects online, and this is really nice, I think, for a career point of view.
Thank you very much, Vincent. One last word, or one last sentence, or one last thing to say to tell us why we should pick your program.
Well, actually, artificial intelligence is, let's say, changing our lives nowadays. And if you want to become, let's say, a highly trained professional for these changes, just come to us.
Well, thank you to both of you. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Vincent. I hope you had all the information you wanted, and I hope to see you soon on Campus Channel for Choose Your Courses at Home. Thank you very much.